Hi, I'm Rebecca from engVid, and this lesson is a vocabulary hack. What does that mean? It means that this lesson will allow you to learn something to do with vocabulary very quickly, and also will enable you to improve your vocabulary tremendously with just this one little trick. Okay? Now, what does it have to do with? It has to do with something called compound adjectives. Now that doesn't sound very exciting, but it is actually really exciting. Let me show you what it is and how to do it, okay? How to use it. So, first of all, what's an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes usually a noun. For example, if we say he is a tall man, tall describes the man, so tall is the adjective. It's a sunny day, sunny is the adjective, right? We had a big party. Big is the adjective. So that's an adjective by itself. Now, what does the word compound mean? Compound means more than one. So when we have compound adjectives, we have two or more words that are used together, but kind of as one unit to describe a noun. All right, let's see how it works. Now, for example, before I show you this, let me give you two sentences. So sometimes people write like this or speak like this. Tom Cruise is an actor. He is well known. Now these are two simple sentences, but it's kind of a very basic way to speak. So if you want to speak more formally or more academically or more professionally, then you could take those two sentences and make them into one sentence. For example, you could say, instead of saying that Tom Cruise is an actor, he is well known, you could say Tom Cruise is a well-known actor. Now, when we use well-known like this, we have to hyphenate it. We put that little dash in the middle, that's called a hyphen, and then this becomes a compound adjective which describes the word actor. Let's take another example. We decided to go to New York at the last minute. Okay? Or I could say, we made a last minute decision to go to New York. Now, the second way is a little bit higher English, more advanced English. All right? Last minute in this case is the compound adjective, which remember is connected with a dash or a hyphen. The third example. They live in a country where people speak English. We could say that, but it is better and more advanced to say they live in an English-speaking country. English-speaking is the compound adjective. All right, the last one here. Okay, the city had so much rain that it broke all previous records. Okay? Or we could say the city had or the city received record-breaking rainfall. Okay? So again, record-breaking is the compound adjective here. All right. Now, just to show you how important it is for you not to forget the hyphen, let's look at these two sentences. Now, the first one says, I saw a man eating tiger. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's see if there's any difference between that one and the second one. I saw a man eating tiger. Any difference? All right, so there is a difference. There's a big difference, especially for the man. All right, I saw a man. So this is like the man, and he was eating tiger. He was eating some tiger meat. Okay, the man was eating the tiger. But in this one, I saw a man eating tiger. Man eating is an adjective which describes the tiger. That means the tiger is the kind of tiger that eats people. And that's called man eating. So the meaning is completely different when you add the hyphen. So don't forget to add that. All right. Now, this is another very important thing to remember when you're doing or using compound adjectives. And that's when you use compound adjectives that have numbers. This is such a common mistake, even at advanced level. But now that you're watching this video, you have a chance to get rid of this mistake forever. And if you don't make this mistake, you will get a much higher score, I assure you, on your any exam, and also when you apply for a job or when you're looking for a promotion, because this is a very sophisticated thing to correct. It's an advanced correction, but it's a really easy correction. And that's why this is a vocabulary hack, remember? Okay, so let's look at what it is. So let's take this sentence first. The contract was for $5 million, right? That sentence is not wrong or anything. It's correct. It's fine. It's just okay. But if we want to express it in a different way, this is what you have to do. It was a $5 million contract. Now what happens? All of this $5 million becomes like one adjective unit to describe the word contract. So we have to hyphenate it. $5 million, we hyphenate those three words, plus, you're probably wondering, Rebecca forgot to put the S there because we're talking about 5 million and that's more than one and it's plural, right? Yes, of course, you're right. So here we said $5 million, but when we use it as an adjective, we drop the S. And that's the mistake that people make, but not you anymore. So now we have to say $5 million contract, not $5 million contract. Got it? Okay. All right, the next one. A similar example with the numbers, because this is where most people make the mistake. Not so much here, but here. The conference was 3 days long. All right, that sentence is okay. But if we want to express that in a little more advanced way, we would say it was a 3-day conference. Again, 3-day is the compound adjective, right, for conference. And because it's a number, we don't add the S there. We say 3-day conference, not 3 days conference. And this is such an important thing to correct that next we're going to do some exercises so you can really master this. All right, be right back. Okay, so let's practice that last part where I said that many students make mistakes, and that has to do with the numbers. Now, of course, when you go to our website and you do the quiz there, you can do a quiz on everything that we've learned today about compound adjectives. But today on the board right now, let's just focus on the compound adjectives that have numbers. Now, there's a clue here. And I'm going to tell you what it is actually after we do the first two. All right? So let's pretend that we're going to make these sentences and all of them start with the words, it's a something course. Now, here I'll tell you how long that course lasts. 6 months. So if we want to make that into a compound adjective, what do we say? It's a six-month course, right? We took off the S. Now, here I've written them in numbers just because it's easier, all right? But the general rule is if you're writing a number which is 10 or lower, okay, then you can spell it and you should spell it. If your number is over 10, then you can use the numbers, okay? So for example, in this next one, it's a something suitcase. The suitcase weighs 20 kilos, right? So we can say now that it's a 20 kilo suitcase, all right? Remember, no S. And here I put 20 kilo like that, hyphenated, because this number is more than 10. That's a general rule. The most important thing is that if you are writing a document, stay consistent. If you're using numbers, use numbers. And if you're using letters, use letters. But as I said, generally, numbers that are lower than 10 are written out because they're shorter and easier to read like that. Also, just a little something, nothing to do with compound adjectives, but remember it has to do with numbers, that anytime you start a sentence, you cannot use a number, a numeral like this. You can only use the word, the spelling of the number. It doesn't matter what size the number is, okay? So don't start a sentence by saying 5 parts of this. No, you have to write out the word 5, F-I-V-E, or 60. All right, let's continue. It's a blank TV series. It has 5 parts. It's a, what will we say? 5-part. Okay, I'm not going to write them all for you because I think you got it. So here, because it was less than 10, I'm writing it out as a full word. Okay, and here it's a blank report. It has 60 pages. It's a 60-page report. Okay, what about this one? Flight. It's a blank flight. It lasts for 8 hours. So we could write out it's an 8-hour flight. Number 6, say it with me. It's a blank break. Lasts for 15 minutes. So we say it's a 15-minute break. Very good. Number 7, it's a blank farm. It has 20 acres. An acre is a unit of measuring land. So we say it's a 20-acre farm. And the last one, it's a blank race. It goes for 10 kilometers. So we say it's a 10-kilometer race. Okay? I know it seems like, okay, yeah, I got the point. But there are many, many people around the world who make this mistake, and I don't want you to be one of them. Not anymore, right? Okay. Now, to really understand this compound adjectives very well, please go to our website at www.engvid.com. There you can do a quiz on some more of this, plus what I taught you earlier about compound adjectives in general. Also, please subscribe to my website at, on YouTube, so you can continue to get lots and lots of English lessons that you can, that will help you to learn English faster, okay? And hopefully more joyfully. All right. Take care. All the best with your English. Bye for now.